Hello, hello, and welcome to ohmTown Daily, the news show powered by ohmTown.com. Today is March 28th, 2024. I am in a time machine going back one day because I missed yesterday. Hopefully, we are going to be able to do today's show. We've had somewhat of an emergency here in ohmTown, but that's okay. We don't edit anything. I don't modify anything. In fact, a couple of days ago there was another glitch in the matrix that led to the sentient AI's audio being chopped out, but that's okay. Everything is kind of in flux right now, so let's see if I can straighten everything out. Again, I'm in the time machine, and today is March 28th, 2024. It's season 3, episode 88. Today we're going to talk about I wish I could rage quit you. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner in bed. Robot Barista, Subaru Recall, wrong lot. Baltimore Hazmat breach. Legal action over thefts. Energy only an AI could love. Highway to charge. And don't touch fuzzy bugs. That and more, but without the sentient AI, they are not available right now. So I'll make that get hidden there. We'll talk to you soon, sentient AI from the future. If you are interested in finding out more about that, you're going to have to come and watch the show. I'm Merwatt, and that is ohmTown, and up there is usually the sentient AI. They'll be back tomorrow, or maybe tonight, or whenever I turn off the time machine. We'll see what happens. Let's get into the articles. All right, everybody. So let's get into the very first article today. As you can see, it is March 28th, but we're in a time machine, so you can do that too. Just go over to ohmTown.com. You can go back all the way to the 1st of 2020, and that might actually get dropped off in time. We'll see, but until then, go enjoy. Let's go. The very first article is over in the Warcrafter channel. Game developers to addiction lawsuit. You can't sue us for making our games quote unquote too entertaining. A string of 6 video game addiction lawsuits have recently been filed against Microsoft, Activision Blizzard, Roblox, Epic Games, Rockstar Games, and other major game developers and publishers. The complaints, which were all submitted to courts within the past 12 months, claim that game developers are intentionally making players addicted to their games. And I think this is one of the dumbest things that can possibly exist. As part of a motion filed this month to dismiss one of the complaints, that of an Arkansas woman and her son, the targeted game developers called the suit an attack on the First Amendment rights of video game creators, and I think it's really an attack on rational thought. I have a real problem with this, because if you're saying that a game is addictive or addicting, then you're basically saying that anything can be. And if anything can be, that means everything has the potential to be a lawsuit in hiding. I really love driving. Does that mean I can go and sue Ford because I spent all of my money on gas? Or do I sue the gas companies because it's so damn expensive? Or maybe it's the insurance companies or our garage that I store my vehicles in because I just got to keep buying more Fords. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it should work. If somebody is addicted to something, then seek treatment. Yes, an addiction can exist. Is it the fault of the person? No, not usually. There's usually something that triggers a response that leads to addiction. But if you're paying attention, as an outsider, friend, family member, coworker, etc., and you see signs of it, then maybe you can assist them in seeking treatment. But suing a game company because somebody became addicted to it, a game company, I don't know. But if you push it even further, I have a problem with the fact that like marijuana is illegal, right? At the federal level, it's illegal. At the state level, it's becoming less and less, I guess, offensive, right? And there are people that are being charged with crimes, even though we are starting to make marijuana free. You can get addicted to marijuana, but there's more people that are addicted to alcohol, and nobody is suing the alcohol manufacturers with any great zeal and succeeding, at least. Because I think for the most part, most people realize that addiction is personal, and you can become addicted to anything. Seek treatment. There are treatments out there. But it takes action and oversight, and it can be expensive, sure. But I don't blame the alcohol manufacturers for making something. Society wants alcohol, but they don't want marijuana, apparently. Even though I think that if you're under the influence of marijuana, you are less likely to commit any kind of crime than you are if you're going to be drunk, because you get more violent with alcohol. You get in a vehicle with alcohol. A game, you sit in front of your desk and you play your game. Remove them from having the ability to spend your money, and they're hobbled to some degree. If they advance to the point where they are harming themselves or others to feed this addiction in some way, right? They start rolling over people to get their money or something. To buy stuff in games, you've got a bigger problem, and it isn't the game. It's it's countless things. I don't want to lay blame on anybody, because it develops in secret for the most part. And then when somebody witnesses, don't go and try and assign blame. All of these things exist because society wants them. There's a few people that fall into that anomalous category, but they should seek treatment. Everybody has a problem of some kind wherein they should seek treatment. And if you think that you don't have an issue wherein you should seek treatment, you're probably wrong. You're just not very introspective. Okay, but I'm not going to lean on this. So let's go over to the source of this article. And PCGamer.com is the source of this article. Tyler Wilde wrote the article at PC Gamer, and the deck statement says Microsoft, Rockstar, Epic, and others are being sued for using addictive psychological features in games like Minecraft, GTA 5, and Fortnite. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just don't buy into it. They use these features to hook the son of this Arkansas mom. When he was 12, now 21, he currently spends $350 a month on games, dropped out of school, has been diagnosed with major depressive disorder and anxiety, and has experienced withdrawal symptoms such as rage, anger, and physical outbursts, according to the lawsuit. It also alleges that the mother could not regulate her son's gaming because she, quote-unquote, feared him as a result of his outbursts. Yeah, I think I think that the inability to regulate is because they didn't have the right resources, or perhaps they were not enlightened as to how to facilitate regulating their kids' behavior. Again, I'm not really blaming anybody. I'm just saying that there are resources out there, and if we keep on, vilifying mental health, then this is what we end up with, because we should be treating it with zeal, trying to fix, quote unquote, the problem. But it's really, it really is. It's a chemical reward system, but we have to understand as humans that we are in charge of that chemical reward system at some point, drawing awareness to it, you know, teaching us the skills that are necessary for us to say, oh, I'm doing this way too much. But then again, we've done psychological tests or experiments where we've had people just sit with a button that electrocutes the person who pushes the button, and we just tell them, just sit. And they will sit there and mash that button because we have to have some type of sensation in our lives, some more than others. And a game like this, is the same thing. So, yeah, the suit says that it includes endless arrays of activities and challenges to continually engage users and ensure that they are never bored. Oh, Lord forbid. I don't know. Take their damn computer. Teach them that they're in no way ever are they justified to make someone so fearful that they fear them if they're going to try and regulate their behavior. And at 12, yeah, I don't know. Something's got to change. And this is just the mom. So they're already, like, what was their support system like? Was anybody else around? And if not, there you go. That's kind of part of the issue. There isn't anybody else around. And in the echo chamber of that family, it may not have been able to break out of that dynamic. Why? Because they weren't entertained as to where the other resources could be, public or private or otherwise. Tell them to go out and touch grass. I know it's simplistic and I'm trying to be pithy about my statement, but it's more complicated than that. I understand it. Anyway, let's keep on going. Before I do that, though, let me run this into the chat room so you can check it out. The next article, this one will be really fast, but I had to jump on that soapbox for that other one. Woman, it's in ohmTown Daily. A woman discovers hotel room close to the kitchen. Detail wasn't a joke. Social media users were in stitches over the room in the viral clip, with one saying, "I have to find this place." I don't think that this is the video that has anything to do with it. Their passengers are creative with a hotel option during airport layover. But anyway, Sue Kim over at Newsweek.com put the article together. A video of a woman was shocked by the unusual view in her hotel room that's gone viral. Let's see here. The message overlaid on the clip reads, "We weren't joking in they weren't joking in the hotel description. When they said close to the kitchen, the footage shows suitcases next to an empty bed under what appears to be a sliding window looking into a kitchen setting with two people standing by a sink with piles of plates stacked beside it." Yeah. Travel is set to hit record highs, reaching $2 trillion, driven by leisure demand. Yeah, that's because people have been cooped up. This thing deviates so far from talking about this actual, the root of this article is supposed to be this video. But wow, they just jumped straight over to talking about everything other than this video. I'd click it, but I'll let y'all do that. But just the description is funny, you know. You open up a sliding window and there is the kitchen. They said that it was really close. So I guess if you want breakfast in bed, lunch in bed, and dinner in bed, you just leave that window open and order in. Let's keep going. This next article is over in ohmTown Daily. Here, let me throw that into the chat. There you go. This robot barista can make you a coffee in minutes, but it wants to be tipped for it. Customers can get their coffee from a robot barista in certain Muji, I guess it is, M-U-J-I, Muji stores. The robot, Jarvis, which, come on folks, let's get away from Jarvis, can perform tasks ranging from frothing milk to creating latte art. It even asks its customers for a tip. The bot's mechanical arm can swing around and bend to pick up the frothed milk, tamp coffee grounds, and even make latte art. Customers can choose anything from an Americano to an iced honey rose latte. The article is over at Business Insider. Alexandra Bacon is the author of this, and that's what the robot looks like. It looks more, I don't know, steampunkish than I would have anticipated. Most coffee maker kind of machines, or latte even, machines are just a block, you know. Go look at the SNL skit. You know, you can get a Starbucks at home coffee maker where it pronounces your name wrong and writes it on a cup incorrectly. So where is this? Robot coffee barista named Jarvis has joined 4 Muji stores in the US and Canada. I've never even heard of Muji, M-U-J-I. The bot's mechanical arm can swing around and bend to pick up frothed milk, etc. Jarvis isn't replacing staff just yet. Oh man, there's a shot across your bow there, Muji employees. In a comment on Instagram in January, Muji Canada said the 2 staff members are the main support for Jarvis, but as soon as we can replace those meat bags, we certainly will. While Jarvis can remain independent, he still requires an entire cafe staff for additional support. Like, it's kind of how I imagine cats in their cat boxes, where they just kind of stand over you and go, "That's right. Pick up my poo, bitch." And that's kind of what this is. While Jarvis can remain independent, he still requires an entire cafe staff for additional support, which amounts to, you got to clean up everything after me. But I'm about to take your job as soon as we can figure that one out. The use of robots in the service industry has proven to be effective in racking up tips in the past. One restaurant in Florida said in 2021 that staff received more tips after it began paying for a $1,000 a month robot to carry plates. Wow. But it's $1,000 a month to carry plates because they didn't buy the robot outright. But once that sunk cost is spent and they have it at their own non-rental fee, they can start amortizing it, writing off its use on taxes. And Jarvis soon has some competition in the robot coffee making realm. Earlier this year, Figure AI, the robotics company backed by Nvidia, Microsoft, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, shared a video of its humanoid making coffee. Yeah, we're about to get replaced, but who's going to have money to spend on all of the stuff that the robots are making if nobody's getting paid because they're no longer doing these jobs? Yeah, think about that. I know. Everybody is going to send me email and say, or they're going to call in, or they're going to post here in the chat or over on YouTube or somewhere. Oh, they'll just find another job. Yes, because we have so many horses running around fully employed, right? So the next article is in the Mobile Channel. Subaru recalls over 118,000 vehicles over airbag issues. This will never end. Instead of the NHTSA demanding that all cars with a certain manufacturer's airbags gets replaced, I'm pretty sure that this is the same manufacturer. So let's see. Let's just go straight on over to the source. Miranda Nazaro over at thehill.com put the article together. The video has nothing to do with it. Let's see. Dealers will replace the sensor in the front passenger seat free of charge, and letters will be mailed to eligible owners in May. So it's not the same problem as just bad. It's the occupant's detection system may crack and short circuit. Can you imagine? It would stop the passenger bag from deploying in an accident. Well, as long as you survive either way, but can you imagine that thing going off? In a short circuit occurs in the vehicle, the Subaru's airbag warning lamp will illuminate, and the front passenger side airbag off indicator will also light up. So in a A series of vehicle models have been recalled in recent months over airbag issues. Honda recalled 750,000 due to faulty weight sensors, and a week prior, Toyota advised its owners that some Corolla and RAV4 vehicles will stop driving them due to the problem with airbags. And last December, Toyota recalled about 1 million vehicles for potentially having airbags that may not deploy. But airbag issues seem to have been around for many years now, starting with the Takati airbags basically turning into claymores and harming the very passengers of the car it's supposed to protect. Okay, let's keep going though. The next article is over in ohmTown Daily. A $500,000 house was built on the wrong Hawaiian lot. A legal fight is unfolding over the mix-up. A woman who purchased a vacant lot in Hawaii was surprised to find out a $500,000 house was built on the property by mistake. This video has nothing to do with it, but that's okay. I wonder how they're going to treat this. I put the article in the chat already. It's by the Associated Press. It's over at abcnews.go.com. Anne Reynolds purchased a 1-acre lot in Hawaiian Paradise Park, a subdivision in the Big Island Spooner District, in 2018 at a county tax auction for about $22,500, which that is a hell of a deal. She was in California during the pandemic, waiting for the right time to use it when she got a call last year from a real estate broker who informed her he sold the house on her property. Hawaii News Now reported local developer Kiau Development Partnership hired PJ's Construction to build about a dozen homes on the properties the developer bought in the subdivision, but the company built one on Reynolds' lot. There's a lot of fingers being pointed. Well, it doesn't really matter. There's going to be a serious problem here because what are they supposed to do? Most of the lots in jungle, like Hawaiian Paradise Park, are identical, noted Peter Olson, an attorney representing the developer, except that if they're all taken, then what does this one person do? It would set a dangerous precedent if you could go on to someone else's land, build anything you want, and then sue the individual for the value of it. Yeah. My client believes she's trying to exploit PJ Construction's mistake in order to get money from my client and other parties. And she's filed a counterclaim against the developer saying she was unaware of the unauthorized construction. They screwed up. It shouldn't be that, oh, well, that one looks like that one. An attorney for PJ's Construction told Hawaii News Now the developer didn't want to hire surveyors. Yeah, that's your mistake. So pay the person. Well, I mean, do they have another lot? Oh, buying a neighbor. Yeah. Reynolds rejected the developer's offer for a neighboring lot of equal size and value, according to court documents. Yeah, I mean, unless there's something absolutely stunningly special about that lot, it shouldn't matter if it has the same view, etc., you know. But who knows? But that's pretty wild. It shouldn't happen in this day and age. And if they screwed up, then they should be paid additional for all of the make them whole, and giving them another lot isn't necessarily making them whole. Okay, let's keep going though. These are interesting articles today, huh? Come on, let's go. Sometimes no matter how hard I press on the gas pedal, those transitions just don't want to go. All right, so the next article is in the Mobile Channel. NTSB chair, hazmat containers breached during bridge collapse. The cargo ship that crashed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore was carrying dozens of hazardous materials containers, some of which were breached during the collapse. NTSB chair Jennifer Homendi on Wednesday said the agency was able to obtain the cargo manifest of the ship named Dolly, which was on its way to Sri Lanka when it smashed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore overnight Tuesday. Not so much. They make it sound like it just headed straight for it, but it was actually, according to all reports, about a minute and 50 seconds before it made actual impact. It sounded a red alert, or a mayday, that it had lost power, and so it lost rudder control, it lost hydraulics, it lost power, it couldn't stop, couldn't turn, and was headed at close to 8 miles per hour, and a minute and 47 seconds or something like that, it had made contact with the bridge, collapsing a 50-plus-year-old bridge in its totality. Because I watched how this happened, and it basically kind of hit one of the pylons, and then the weight of the bridge started to shift down, and that you could actually see it pull away from the other pylons, and then as it all rejiggered, it all lost that cohesion, pulling the bolts that held it all together. I mean, it was an erector set that I think was barely there, and definitely not able to withstand the weight of a 26,000-ton container ship. The article's over at The Hill by Miranda Nazaro, and they basically go over what I just said. There were 764 tons of hazardous material, mostly corrosives, flammables, and some miscellaneous hazardous materials, which I really don't like the idea of being called miscellaneous hazard materials. I'm sure that they have some fidelity in this. But Class 9 hazardous materials, which would include lithium-ion batteries, and some of the hazmat containers were breached. So I guess they're seeing some of that on the water, oil, gasoline, or other pastorium products being dropped into the water. Creates a sheen on the surface. And they're still doing the recovery operations. There's a video that's running on YouTube right now that's referring to the biggest crane in the world coming. All I've seen is just blank sea, pointing at the bridge, and they're not even at the bridge. I don't think it's like at a dock. Anyway, not very exciting. But they've done tours now of the ship right at the point of collision, which amounted to, I think, like 5 or 6 people just kind of staring at the debris. Let's hope they make sense out of the jigsaw puzzle that is this incident. Let's keep going. Next article is over in Prime Glass. British Museum's legal action over thefts is locking the stable door after the horse has bolted, experts say. But it's something, I say. The museum's former acting head of Greece and Rome department, Peter Higgs, is facing legal action after being accused of stealing up to 2,000 objects. The article is by Joe Ware over at theartnewspaper.com. The picture really doesn't have anything to do with it other than showing who Peter John Higgs is. But yeah, I don't know. I hate the idea of this kind of implying that maybe, is this one of the objects that were reportedly stolen? I don't know, but it's certainly intimating that. Higgs was the museum curator of ancient Greek collections, recently promoted to the acting head of Greece and Rome department. Last year, he was sacked following revelations that a large number of objects had been damaged or gone missing, and this week, the museum sued Higgs for the return of any remaining artifacts in his possession. I think this is the same one that we've been talking about from time to time, where his kid is basically being impacted by this as well, with him saying, no, I don't think so. But maybe this is somebody else. Martin Hennig, an expert in engraved gemstones, identified part of a Roman signet ring which was available for sale as belonging to the British Museum. After the item was returned, Hennig, with the scholar and art dealer Ittai Gradle, found evidence of other items for sale which had seemingly been stolen from the collection. Despite their attempts to highlight this to the museum, their warnings to directors were dismissed. Yeah, it goes a lot deeper over here. Kind of interesting. One clear sign of the deeper problems at the museum is prominently displayed on the website, a job listing for Higgs' role, curator of the Greek and Roman collection. It pays just shy of 34,000 pounds per year. Ironically, it was the British Museum's current chairman, George Osborne, who, as Chancellor of the Exchequer, championed austerity measures that slashed cultural spending in the UK. I'm not sure if that is ironic, but $34,000 for a curator of an entire collection, one that you can pilfer 2,000 items from. Yeah, maybe they are underpaying. What is the going rate? I'd go to Glassdoor, but my understanding is that they basically are doxing people by exposing their real names without authorization. They flipped a switch and started using people's real names, first names, whatever it was that they had in their account. Anyway, again, there's more over at this article, but I guess we'll keep on talking about it if they keep on talking about it. Let's keep going. Come on. The next article is over in the Mobile Channel. AI already uses as much energy as a small country. It's only the beginning. That's right, folks. AI is a small country. The energy needed to support data storage is expected to double by 2026. You can do something to stop it. That's right. Start deleting your data. No, I don't know. Unsubscribe from everything. What are they saying? You can do something about it. In January, the International Energy Agency, or IEA, EIEIO, issued its forecast for global energy use over the next 2 years. Included for the first time were projections on electricity consumption associated with data centers, cryptocurrency, and artificial intelligence. Okay, so AI is the problem. Cryptocurrency has been around sucking juice out of the system for 10 years. Data centers have been, well, all the time since the advent of, computers. And they've only been getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but they're getting more efficient because they're using solid state drives. The IEA estimates that added together, this usage represented almost 2% of the global energy demand in 2022, and that demand for these uses could double by 2026, which could make it roughly equal to what? Brian Calvert over at Vox.com put the article together. I'm curious what they say they can actually do something. Oh, all of it combined is after it doubles by 2026, making it roughly equal to the electricity used by the entire country of Japan. But Japan is a very power-hungry, technologically sophisticated country, for crying out loud. Well, why not say that it's the same as the entire, continent of Africa or something? Don't pull one of the most technologically sophisticated countries out of the pile and go all of it combined, and then use a title like AI already uses as much as a small country. Come on, Vox, you can do better than that. One of the areas with the fastest growing demand for energy is the form of machine learning called generative AI, which requires a lot of energy for training and a lot of energy for producing answers to queries. Come on. This is so... Let's see. I just want to find out. They asked her, Sasha Lucioni, I think it is, what any of us can do to be better consumers of this ravenous technology. And the conversation has been edited for length and clarity. And so they actually asked these questions. Let's see. What exactly is artificial intelligence? I don't want to know that. What do we know about the energy costs? So in material terms, we've got data. We got a lot of data. These are questions that Brian Calvert is asking, by the way. What kind of things need to be built to support this, and what are the environmental real-world impacts? And then, of course, there's also cooling, they say. And let's see, what challenges will that present from an ecological or environmental perspective going forward? That's another question they ask. Okay, and so here we go. Basically, they say you gotta slow down. And then Brian Calvert asks, what kinds of practices and policy should we be considering to either slow AI down or green it up? Let's see. Do what we're doing now. It's going to become more and more efficient because they want it to be more and more effective. If it costs them a lot to compute some output, then they don't do it because it isn't economical. Although if the answer is profound enough, then they will allow it to calculate that again and again because it's the most efficient for the best answer. That's what the algorithm is going to be doing. It's not going to spit out an incorrect but computationally complex result. It's going to find the cheapest, most accurate answer, even so much as using more power to generate the correct answer. This is a very limited perspective, I think. But maybe if you go over and read the article and then come to chat and post your thoughts in chat, maybe you can tell me something that I missed. Let's keep going. The next article is over in ohmTown Daily. New highway will charge electric vehicles as they drive on it. This sounds like fun. But I hope it's faster than a Qi charger. Transportation officials in Indiana hope to offer wireless charging of EVs on a stretch of interstate by next summer in a pilot that could be expanded. I swear we've talked about this before in ohmTown. Maybe it's actually underway. In concurrent statements released on Wednesday, the Indiana Department of Transportation and Purdue University announced the first of its kind roadway, which is due to be completed by summer 2025, but you'll need some way of charging. Current EVs don't allow it while you're driving. It doesn't even have the ability. Patent pending technology operates similar to a wireless phone charger using magnetic fields to pass electricity between coils, one in the road, which transmits, and another on the vehicle or in the vehicle, which receives. So I see what they're doing. They're building a coil. I actually have a product that uses that I'm eventually going to bring to market. We'll see. The university said the wireless charging highways required higher power levels as vehicles move across them faster than city roads, which, making them capable of charging larger vehicles, would maximize greenhouse gas reductions, as trucks are one of the biggest sources of emissions in the transportation sector. What a convoluted paragraph, huh? Anyway, the so-called middle mile of a supply chain, which refers to all of the travel heavy duty trucks, have to carry goods from one major location to another. Yeah, but you're going to have to retrofit EVs with a coil that allows it to be the receiver to these transmitters. And it's going to be extremely high voltage. I mean, the loss to heat is going to be tremendous. The possibilities may yet be pushed further still. Rather than placing induction coils in the roads, which could prove expensive, and they'll break down. They'll get damaged in the roads. Weathering is going to cause a problem, and they'll become less and less effective over time, I believe. Which could prove expensive. Engineers at MIT have developed concrete capable of holding an electric charge. This is not quite sure how that will actually end up in the market, but okay. Yeah, if you've ever touched your charger or your phone after it's been sitting there charging from low rate, yeah, you know how much heat this is going to generate. So I guess in winter months, it's going to keep the road warm too. Works for me. That'll save a whole bunch of accidents from happening. Okay, last article for today, and then we can get out of the time machine because it's getting a little warm itself. Next article is over in the Mobile channel. Don't touch. These fuzzy bugs are taking over Florida. So I'm just gonna jump right on over to this. Let me throw it into the chat first. Doink. And then we'll talk about the article. Don't touch these fuzzy bugs. They're taking over Florida. They may look cute and fuzzy, but you don't want to touch these. Let me rewind this. That's what they look like. They're big fuzzy bugs. They look like woolly bears, I think they're referred to, but they're not. And if you touch these, they're going to mess you up. So it's that time of year when spiny white and yellow caterpillars drop out of the oak trees in Florida, swarming cars and taking over porches. Yeah. And they're called tussock moth caterpillars. And a brush with one will leave you with an itchy, burning rash. They may be pests, but the moths are a native species and provide food for creatures like bats, birds, and other insects once they reach adulthood. So they've got to survive to adulthood. But yeah, don't touch these. They're gonna give you an itchy, burning rash. They may even leave some of the stinging hairs behind, which can be removed with tape. But all the while, it's going to be annoying the hell out of you. Anyone who comes in contact with the bug can find relief by taking over-the-counter medications that treat poison ivy, unless you are more susceptible to them. And then they're not going to feel, good at anything. The caterpillars drop from the trees to find a place to build their cocoons, which can be found all over homes, park benches, anything else outside. Once they're spun with the same hairs that cause the rash and are difficult to remove, anyone who wants to remove the caterpillars from their home should sweep them up and put them in a bucket with soapy water. Their cocoons can be removed using tweezers, but make sure you wear long sleeves to avoid. Yeah, you don't want to get touched by these things. Anyway, that would be interesting to warn everybody out there if you're in Florida, I suppose, or anywhere else that these little beasties exist. Tussock moth caterpillars. Okay, I don't have the scientific name for these, but there you go. That's it. So get back into the party bus, everybody, and I'm going to race down Main Street, jump back into the time machine, and I'm going to call it a day. Thanks for watching ohmTown Daily News Show. That's just 10 articles. Countless others over on, actually I can count them, but there's a lot going back in time, and you can go back any day all the way until January 1st, I think it is, of 2020. Right? Yep, doing right there. So go and check it out. I got to get out of the time machine, and we'll be doing we'll do the regular show as usual, 8 p.m. I'm not sure if the AI is going to be available, but we'll see. Okay, thanks. See you soon.